What's up, team? Donovan here, Martial Arts Business Made Easy, and in today's video we're chatting about only open a second location when. All right, so oftentimes I see school owners rush to open another location and ultimately at the detriment of their first location. All right, the ego gets in the way. We see other school owners in our industry, or we have friends that are opening multiple locations, and honestly we don't know behind the scenes, right? Maybe they're more prepared, maybe they're rushing into this and you don't want to do that as well. All right, so just because someone else is doing it doesn't mean it is the right thing for you. So today we're going to be chatting about the things that we look at before opening new locations. All right, so number one, has revenue consistently grown over the past 3 years? All right, what I mean by that is quarter over quarter, year over year, is the revenue continually growing and are we ultimately putting more profit in our pocket? All right, so the profit we're shooting for is a minimum of 25% for strictly martial arts programs. All right, so if you're not making 25% of profit, I would heavily consider focusing on your current business, squeezing out all the juice you can out of that before moving on to a new location. All right, so if you're adding after-school programs, summer camps, things like that, you might have a profit margin of 35, 40, 50%, right? But if for a strict martial arts location, if you're not hitting 25% profit, I would focus on the existing location and making that one better. So for an example here, if your business is grossing $400,000 per year, you personally as the owner should be making at least $100,000 as the owner. All right, so remember, if you're an owner-operator, so if you own the business, but you are also in the classes, you're on the floor running the classes and the programs, you want to get an owner draw as well as an instructor salary, because eventually you're going to have to replace yourself. So we want to make sure we're getting two pots of money there, an instructor salary as well as an owner draw, and that owner draw needs to be a minimum of $100,000. All right, you also want to make sure that your current organizational chart is full and you have reliable and trained staff for location 2. All right, ultimately, you cannot be in two places at one time. So we want to make sure that our first location is operational and running, and we have a team trained and prepared and ready to hit the ground running for location number 2. All right, also things to consider here, your current location is completely debt-free. So if you took out a loan to open your first location, that's totally okay, that's not uncommon, but I wanna make sure that that debt is paid off before acquiring new debt or spending our own money to open a second location. Just because you have more locations does not mean you're going to make more money. All right, oftentimes it's the reverse of that. So make sure your current location is debt-free. Also make sure that personally you have 6 months of savings. So you've got your mortgage covered, your car payment, your car insurance, entertainment, any food, travel expenses, that you have enough money to take care of your family. Because if location 2 is bleeding and location 1 is covering down, we need to make sure that you're not having stress at home with your spouse or with your family. So make sure that you have 6 months of personal savings set aside that you can live on. All right. Another thing to consider is that as you, the owner, can you be absent from the day-to-day activities for 30 days without a decline in revenue? So if you take a vacation for a week or 2 weeks, right, can you be gone and your business not decline in revenue? The system doesn't break without you in it. That's super important because the system is what ultimately runs the business, right? We create the system, the team manages the system, and the system takes care of our students. So can your school and your staff run that system without you present? Super important. All right. Remember, guys, be patient. This does take time. This is not a race. It's a marathon. You don't win the game of business. You simply continue to play the game of business. So take your time, develop the system, because again, the system takes care of the students. All right. You develop your team and they are the ones that work on this system. Okay, save your money. It's always going to cost a little bit more money and take a little bit longer time than we thought it was going to. So make sure we're prepared with time and money. And just remember, when you're ready, a great spot will be there and you'll hit the ground running with success. Do not have FOMO, right? Do not have fear of missing out. Just because this spot seems like it's a great location, it seems like it's a great price per square foot, I promise you, when you have a great business, there will be a place available for you in your community. So take your time, develop the systems, develop your team, save your money, and set your team up for success.